Welcome to today's video. Today I have a tutorial for you. I thought I would take something as classic as the smoky eye and break it down into something simple, something not intimidating, and something wearable. I think when the smoky eye became really popular, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, a long time ago, smoky eyes have been in for a long time. So the way that I like to approach smoky eyes is more of thinking of smoky eye as a technique in applying your shadows rather than a color. So smoky eyes don't have to be charcoals or grays or dark or have really heavy shades on the lids. Smoky eye can be any shade you want. You can have a green smoky eye, a purple smoky eye, a neutral smoky eye, a warm smoky eye, a cool smoky eye, whatever you want. It's all about the technique and applications. So today I'm going to show you how to achieve that. The way that I like to approach a smoky eye is basically kind of the opposite that I do my normal eye makeup. Typically, you guys see me with lightness here in the inner corner and the lid and darkness on the outer corner. When I do a smoky eye, I like to concentrate all the darkness at the root of the lash and then slowly, gradually fade, smoke out as you get into the crease and underneath the brow bone. So yes, I'll say that again. I like to start with the darkest of my eyeshadow right at the root of the lashes, at my lash line, and then I like it to slowly, slowly lighten up, almost to a way that you really can't see that lightness happening. It's just the most smoothest transition as you get into the crease and then underneath the brow bone. So that way when you get into the crease, you really just have this like smoky halo, this smoky diffusion of color, if you can imagine that. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. I'm gonna use these nice warm neutral shades from a new palette I actually just picked up like 2 hours ago, the Makeup Geek palette at Target. I was in my local Target this morning getting things for the girls and I ran across a little display of Makeup Geek products. So I was so excited to pick this up. This is a beautiful, nice kind of basic neutral palette. It's got some warm shades to it. It is missing a brow highlight, but aside from that, I feel like you have what you need to create a full makeup look. So if you guys like these educational videos, these videos where I break down makeup techniques in super simple little bites, then let me know in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up. That really does help me see which videos are more popular on my channel so I know which kind of content to keep creating and which content to stop creating. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. So first we're going to start by priming our eyelids, no different than any other makeup tutorial that you will see on my channel. I am starting with the Milani eyeshadow primer, one of my favorites. You guys know I like a very transparent eyeshadow primer. I don't really want it to alter the color of this shadow. I just want it to give these shadows something to adhere to, keep the shadow from creasing, and maybe brighten up the eye a little bit. So I actually just like to use my finger to apply this just to get a real nice, even, sheer layer of product. Now I have a little bit of mascara on, but aside from that, that's the only eye makeup I have on. And brows, of course. So next, this is where things go a little different than my normal tutorials. So instead of going in with my crease color like you guys typically see me do, I'm gonna go in and create a dark, smoky, thick line at my lashes with a very soft and waxy eye pencil. I am using this one here by Pixi. You can get these at Target, and this is the shade Copper Glow. It's just a really nice bronzy pencil with some gold and copper flecks to it. So I'm going to line my eye with this, and I am not going to be concerned or careful with getting the perfect line. You can see that I'm getting real sloppy here. It's pretty thick, and I want to put enough product that I have the ability to smoke it out and smudge it out. Essentially what I'm kind of doing is I'm using this as an eyeshadow primer. So I'm not gonna cover my entire lid with it, but I am gonna cover, some pretty good space there on my lid. So when you're selecting a pencil for this, it's really important that you get something soft and waxy, a kohl pencil. You do not want to use a pencil that dries really fast, and you do not want to use a harder, more stiff pencil. You want it to be very soft, very wax-like. Then you want to go in and just kind of blend this out. So I'm taking this brush like this. This is by MAC. It's a 242. It's just a small, flat, synthetic brush. And I'm basically just going to kind of blend out the harsh edges. It's still going to have a very crisp line. That's okay, but I just want it to be a little bit more consistent. So when you're done with this step, really what you want it to look like is a pretty opaque cream shadow. You also want it to be more intense right at the root of your lashes and then get a little bit more transparent as it gets further up here towards the crease. So next I'm gonna go in with a crease color, and I am using a new palette today. I actually picked this up this morning from Target. It is by Makeup Geek. I saw that Makeup Geek was in my local Target, and I was so excited. There were a few quad options to choose from. I decided to go with this one. I actually put a couple in my cart, but then I saw that they were $22. So I put a few back and I just went with this one. This has the shade Grandstand, Creme Brulee, Wild West, and Carbon in it. And I am gonna go in with this shade right here. I believe this is Wild West. And I'm going to take a brush that is kind of like a fat little crease brush. It's not real long and soft. It's a little bit more dense for a crease brush. I think this is the MAC 217. And I'm gonna take my brush and I'm gonna apply this basically right just over where that liner ends, and then just kind of blend it into my crease. This technique is just really going to soften that harsh edge from the liner and give a little bit more of a diffused look. When you're dealing with a smoky eye, the objective is for it to look darker at the lashes and then kind of slowly diffuse into lighter. So it's very different than the typical eye makeup that I do, which is lighter in the inner corner and lid and darker in the crease. This really is darker at the lashes and then it kind of fades up to be lighter. It's almost like smoke. Feel free to bring your brush down too and just kind of dust over the lash line. That is just going to help set that eyeliner. The eyeliner really shouldn't move, but just as an extra little step, that'll help set the eyeliner. Now, if you wanted, you could use a shimmery shadow in place of this. It doesn't have to be matte. If you do decide to go with a shimmer though, and you do want to create more dimension, just be sure that you do take a matte and you apply it here in the crease, because that's what's going to create that dimension and give you more of that defined crease. So next I'm going to add a little bit of a highlight on the lid, and I'm going to go in with this shade right here. This is the shade Grandstand. And I'm just going to take my fluffy brush that I used and I'm going to apply that just on the center of the lid. This is I believe this is the foiled texture, which means it's going to be really intense. You don't really necessarily need to use your finger or a really stiff brush. You certainly can if you want that intensity to be more dramatic, but I just want it to be real soft, and again, just like the soft smoky look. Then next I'm going to go with my crease shade, and I'm going to use the shade right here, Creme Brulee. It looks a lot lighter on camera than it is actually in person. It's kind of like this really nice soft to medium tone kind of toffee color, and I'm just going to apply this in my crease just to soften everything and kind of add to that smoky illusion. Then last, you want to highlight your brow bone, and for that I'm going to use a real bright kind of satin finish shade, and I do have to dig into a different palette. I'm going to go here into the Naked Reloaded palette. I'm going to grab this shade right here. It's called Bribe. The Makeup Geek does not have a very good, it really doesn't have an option for a brow highlight. And I'm using this fluffy brush because I don't want the intensity of that brow highlight to be too intense. I want it to be nice and soft. Because I know this color has a lot of payoff, the brush that you use is really important. If I were working with a shadow that was a little bit more sheer or didn't quite have the same payoff, then I might use a stiffer brush, but this one is really intense, so I want to apply it very softly. Then next I'm going to add a little bit of black just at the roots, and I'm going to go in with my Kat Von D tattoo liner. I'm not going to make this line as thick as I normally do. I really want it to be the most thin line possible. I just want it to look like my lash line is thicker. So I just really kind of, what I'm going to do is kind of just lay it on my lashes and press. Oops, of course I made a little boo-boo. Okay, so I want it to be nice and thin, and then I'm going to take a slight little wing out here, but I do not want it to get out of control. So if you make this mistake with liquid liner like I just did, you can clearly see that. I'm going to let it be for a second. I'm going to go to the other eye and do that line. Yeah, okay, we got to address that, don't we? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stiff brush, like a small stiff brush, and I'm going to go in with the darkest shade in the palette. I haven't used this one yet, and I wasn't planning on using it, but now we have to go and kind of fix something. So I'm just going to take this, and I'm just going to kind of blend it over that line, which of course now I'm going to have to do the other side so that it's even. but because we are doing a smoky eye, this step is totally appropriate. I think it just adds a little bit more of that smoky vibe. So for lower lash line, I'm going to take the same pencil that I used on my lid, and we are going to line just underneath the lower lashes. I'm trying to keep that line pretty thin because this pencil is so soft and waxy. I can really blend this out and create a thicker, smokier line, but the key is not to apply too much product. If you apply too much of this, or your pressure's too hard, or you make the line too thick, it ends up being a lot heavier of a line than you want. So even though this looks really thin and clean, I'm gonna go in with this pencil brush and I'm gonna smoke it out. So I'm just gonna take that shade, so I'm gonna go in and smoke it out with this shade right here. And feel free to like kind of bring your brush down and really get a nice like smoky effect. The key is getting most of the product closest to your lashes, but then once you've worked it into your lashes, then feel free to bring the brush down a little bit. You don't want to have too much product on your brush still when you bring it down though, because you don't want it to be too dark, too low. You want that smoky haze to be very diffused. Okay, next it's time for lashes, and I'm gonna stick with just mascara today. So I'm gonna load up my lashes with some lash primer just to make sure I get some really, really thick, dramatic lashes. And I'm gonna go in with the Wander Beauty Volume and Curl Mascara. This wand is nice because it has the slightest little curve, so it really kind of helps lift your lashes. Even though it gives dramatic lashes, I like it because it makes the lashes still look kind of soft and fluffy. Some mascaras can give really dramatic lashes, but they look really harsh or, you know, heavy or stuck together. This gives a very like feather-like look. For lips, I'm going to go in with a really nice, subtle, peachy nude, and I'm excited about this lipstick because it is actually a friend's new collab with Christian Audette. Lisa D1 just launched a collection of nude lipsticks. There's 2 lipsticks and a liner. So I'm using the shade Golden Tiger. It's a really pretty, beautiful, soft peach nude. Oh, I love it. It's got a really nice tone to it. Like it's pretty muted, but it's not... but it's got color to it and warmth to it. I usually can't wear nude, like this is the perfect level of a muted nude lip for me. Anything that's not warm enough, that's too cool and muted, makes me look like my lips have no, like I look dead. This gives me a nice, beautiful nude color though. I love this. And this lip liner in Nude Sandals, which also launched with the collection, it is so soft and creamy. So I actually like to, sorry, let me finish my lips. I actually like to line my lips after I've applied lipstick, especially when I'm working with a muted lip color like this, because if you use a liner that's too dark and then you line your lips, it tends to translate darker. And then if you put a lipstick that's lighter on it, sometimes you can see that line. So lining your lips after you've applied lipstick when you're working with shades like this, I find just gives a more natural look. All right, you guys, and that wraps up this warm smoky eye tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you found this easy to follow along. I really try to keep my tutorials easy and achievable. I never like to create looks that seem like there's too many steps to them or that are something that you can't really create on your own. So I'd love your feedback so that I can improve my videos. Let me know in the comment section below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!